Employee.
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 Now I just need to match the new serial numbers with your employee IDs, employee IDs, employee IDs.
I went from employee to right-hand man, and now friend.
We've got 46,000 employees spread across 14 divisions.
The structure, listen, I know I could do the work.
I'm not hiring a project here. I'm hiring an employee.
Who's Floyd Lawton?
He is an employee of Mr. Patel.
I've been concerned by the idea that the vigilante might target an employee or officer of this company.
Well, does that mean I have a shot at Employee of the Month?
No. Because you're not my employee.
There? Oh, I'm sure you saw on TV. Former employee of mine tried to kill me.
Former employee with the ability to replicate.
Bill Carlisle and Lindsay Kang, former employees who were recently murdered.
First he blows a no-hitter, now he's coming in 5 minutes late. So much for Employee of the Week.
But if I feel like I'm going to slip on a banana peel, the union has an employee assistance program for substance abuse.
Taking too long! Remember, as McLeod said, only 42 ounces of potable water per employee per week.
You can't breathe in there. All employees are accounted for, but Scooter and Brad are trapped on the roof.
Departure. Departure.
Departure.
Departure.
Departure.
Go through town to the airport. Flight 497, 8 a.m. departure. 8 a.m. departure. 8 a.m. departure.
As you're well aware, this is quite a departure. A departure. A departure.
Everything's set. We moved the machine to the launch site. Departure is at 5 p.m. Departure is at 5 p.m. Departure is at 5 p.m.
We have an unauthorized departure from base.
They found it.
Mom, I have a job to do.
At least come to the departure ceremony.
We're cleared for immediate departure.
We'll continue preparations for our departure then.
After my departure, please ensure that mine is the only longboat that ferries anyone to and from the island. We staggered our departures from camp, so as not to arouse suspicion.
He never said, but I had my theories, especially because this new stuff was such a musical departure for him, as I'm sure you noticed. Yeah.
To safe returns.
And no more departures.
Well, speaking of mysteries, we spoke with Whitney's friends. They said prior to her departure, she was spending a good deal of time at the Historical Society.
That's why you haven't shed one tear over our tentacled friend's departure.
Departure.
Their point of departure and their paths diverse.
Speculate.
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 Do you mean brick?
We can't speculate on what is or isn't brick.
Well, no. The thing is, man, that you have to speculate, to accumulate, in business like.
Writers like being alone.
Yeah, if I could write. But the painkillers make me a little loopy. Last night I used the word speculate 3 times in the same sentence.
You must be bored.
I am not religious, and I don't want to speculate on what kind of chosen person I am or what kind of power center is inside of me.
This is the 5th sighting of mysterious objects over Grizzly Lake. Authorities speculate an elaborate hoax perpetuated by high school.
Dad, I'm just an old prison warden. I couldn't speculate on the motives of global corporations.
Far be it from me to, speculate on the state of your marriage, but I looked in your coat closet and I saw it was full of top-of-the-line outerwear.
Heroin addict. It's not difficult to track her movements, nor is it unreasonable to speculate that she may have broken the law.
The reason that the murderer wanted him to die in precisely this way might have even wanted people to speculate that Bella is responsible.
We really don't have the information to speculate at this point.
Okay.
A sample suggested such a possibility. So she's just going to keep on growing? It's impossible to speculate.
If I were to speculate, I think the president
Speculation is a poor form of investment.
And plead the 5th.
What do you think she has?
I don't want to speculate.
God damn it, I pay the 6 of you more in one day than it costs to put a kid through college.
Heading.
Heading. Heading. Heading. Heading.
It's heading towards us.
Heading back to the safe room.
I want all teams to floor 40.
It's not going to be enough, John.
We'll find them.
I thought you said you were heading west. Where are you?
What time should we start heading down to the banquet?
I believe the invitation said it started at 6, so...
Okay, buddy, it's a brand new day. We're all rested up, and we're heading into the village.
Oh, nice dress. Where are you headed?
Upstairs.
Heading out?
Yes, meeting with the financial planners.
Heading towards Adams and O'Neill. At the clip he's going, he's got to be in a vehicle.
Shit, we got Randall heading east on Holloway Boulevard. Let's box him in from the west.
Okay, guys, we got the suspects. They're heading south in a maroon SUV.
Passing in the southern mountains. Heading for Arundel. Led by Prince Hans.
Lens.
Lens.
Lens. Lens.
Lens.
Find the small brass cap. An optic?
Yes, sir. A glass lens. A glass lens. A glass lens.
As a telescope?
Not unlike a telescope.
She wore corrective lenses, and she was an organ donor.
What's that? A piece of kryptonite that you're going to use like a lens. Lens. Narrow your blaster to minimum and filter it through.
Long lens, short base cameras.
Why are we looking at the water?
Good.
Really got to get rid of the double glazing, Paul. Get yourself contact lenses or something. Laser eye treatment. Nobody's ever going to take you seriously still.
Those aren't jellyfish, buddy. Believe it or not, those are contact lenses. Your grandpa saved all the contact lenses he ever wore.
Look at the lens. Don't move.
At the far end of this arrangement of prisms, lenses, lies a camera obscura.
I'm serious. I mean, I got to get you in front of my lens so I could
Oh my God.
videotape it.
Well, did you tell me to take off the lens cap? Next time, be more specific.
Talking about. It's not exactly retina display, but got a long lens shot from the liquor store. Looks like he tossed his phone.
Saddle.
Saddle. Saddle.
Saddle. Saddle.
She won't take a saddle. Saddle.
Let me grab my saddle. My saddle.
What? No. I didn't ask for your help.
Did you see it? I don't think so. Oh, you know so. It has a saddle. Saddle.
It's acceptance.
He bucks whenever I saddle him. Not when I saddle him, but when I get him to go through transition.
Spot. That lady has a way of making me sit taller in the saddle.
Well, you guys aren't really back in the saddle?
No, sir. This is a 56 Metropolitan Nash?
Yeah, it reminds me of an old pair of saddle shoes I once had.
Oh, Billy, you should wear a saddle. Yes.
Phil, help me saddle up my horse, will you? Well, look who's suddenly needed by his father-in-law.
You got 2 hands, 4 wheels, 1 saddle.
Morning. You back in the saddle?
Good way. Nothing I haven't felt after spending a day on the saddle.
Rumor. Rumor.
Rumor.
Rumor.
Rumor.
This is under new management.
Oh, it's my club now.
Is that we all have to work harder than ever. Because I want to go out on top. Yes, you see, the rumors are true.
As soon as rumors of the indictment started, you should have seen them run for the exits.
I'm over him, okay? I'm glad to hear it. Because rumor has it, Sherry's already staking her claim on him.
Don't you even think about lying to me.
Okay. I heard a rumor. Where's she hiding all the grub? Her office. No one's ever been in there. I heard rumor it's booby trapped.
I'm such a bad person. You're not, it's okay. If it makes you feel better, last summer, I'm the one who spread the rumor that said you had a weird disease where you were always on your period.
Jerry, the pizza guy? God, he's weird.
You heard the rumors, right?
Yeah. I'm hearing rumor that you keep flashing our guests.
Oh.
I thought the rumor was he was a recluse. You know, went all Howard Hughes.
You see, there's a nasty rumor going around that you're actually working for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Toshi, please.
73. There's also a rumor that the martini was invented at the Knickerbocker.
Conventional.
Conventional. Conventional. Conventional. Conventional.
Why you were invited here to supper in the first place, if my appetites were for less conventional fare. Conventional fare. Conventional fare.
Just bring her something nice. Pick some flowers.
Too conventional. Too conventional. Too conventional.
Well, you'll figure it out.
Man, there go all the burritos. This is a conventional oven, right? Conventional oven, right? Conventional oven, right?
Is there, it's clear. My job is then to find, with all my anarchic and conventional experience, I've just got to find the tool.
Exactly.
You will know him when you see him, believe me. He cannot be destroyed by conventional means, but I have a plan. Ladies.
Tens of millions. This guy can fill up a football stadium on a Tuesday.
Oh, conventional spirit guys always ask this.
You'll fuck him just to get him to remember?
I agree. It's not conventional practice.
Where are the blueberries? I told you like 2 days ago. The organic blueberries, not the conventional blueberries. I can't use them in the shit.
And I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but you seem like such a conventional married couple.
I can assure you that those conventional authorities in those countries will not love you.
Probably not. You've contacted us, said basically the same thing. Conventional engagement has proven ineffective, guerrilla tactics slightly more successful, but at too great a cost.
She's got this sort of anti-establishment, fuck you attitude. Conventional news bores her, but you had something gritty to show.
Fundamental.
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 This self-organization is a fundamental law of the group. Fundamental law of the group. Fundamental law of the group.
This is slow class. Palpating the patient's abdomen is first, before tests or labs. Basics, people. Fundamentals. Fundamentals. Fundamentals.
To reclaim the American dream and reaffirm that fundamental truth that out of many we are one.
In the midst of all our backslapping, we forgot a fundamental principle of smart growth.
You don't trust me. Actually, it's more fundamental than that. You don't like me.
What does it matter if she says she's asexual?
It's the fundamental drive of our species. Sex is healthy.
So, Leonard, Howard says you're working on fundamental tests of quantum mechanics?
I am.
It's a very basic procedure, but you love the basics, and you're all about the fundamentals. For the next step.
Well, you might remember this the next time you're screaming at an intern for skipping the fundamentals.
Will you just do it, please?
Time travel spells have been written since the dawn of the dark arts, but never cast. It's against the fundamental laws of magic.
Paranoia, ultimately psychosis. I bring this up because in 140 years, the fundamental mind of the escape man has not changed.
Expectation.
Expectation.
Expectation. Expectation.
Expectation.
Our goal and our expectation is by mid-July to be within 7 games of first. That would be this working.
That keeps us in the hunt.
Abomination to the Lord. Now, when a wicked man dies, his expectations shall perish, and the hope of unjust man perisheth.
They expect, Matthew, is that we won't know how to behave, so if you don't mind, I would rather not confirm their expectations. Expectations.
Inform you of how thrilled Senator McCain is. You're exceeding his wildest expectation for what a running mate could achieve.
I am so happy to hear that.
Just like her. Always expecting the worst from people.
Funny how often people exceed those expectations.
Bureau always has an expectation of the amount of drugs we might recover from a bust.
I had very low expectations of him and a sponsorship in general. Didn't think I needed either.
On something. You're welcome to assist me, but I have no expectation of that.
She's asked only for my genetic material. Her expectation as to my involvement in the child's life would end there.
What did you say? Insurance they don't need anymore.
We'll keep moving forward, but we have to manage expectations now.
Agent Harris, I'm not going to manage expectations. I'll be solving a murder.
And Fitz really wants a dog.
Thought he wanted a monkey.
Guess he readjusted his expectations.
Always deliver.
You gave me an assignment with high expectations. I'll meet them, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Resign. Resign.
Resign.
Resign.
Resign.
Send me home, Colonel, or I will resign, resign, resign.
You wanted to see me?
You can't resign. You can't resign. You can't resign.
You have an obligation to stay here and convince him to do his duty.
If you resign, if you resign, if you resign, I'm gonna leave you.
But I should have resigned. You can't afford to resign. Matter of principle. I have a standing in the scientific community, Mary. A reputation. You have a mortgage.
2, 3, 4.
Maybe I should resign. We could have a baby.
Oh, wait. Don't worry, Mary. I got the original nice and safe. You resign, you step down, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Until debts are reasonably repaid.
As I insist you resign.
A majority of the board must approve executive hiring.
Keep it. I resign.
Courts open a safe during overhaul.
Yeah, they couldn't pin it on him, but he agreed to resign.
Look at me!
You're not gonna resign.
I've decided to resign.
I think you're doing the right thing.
Percentage. 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 Percentage.
What percentage of 75 is 12? 8%, 12%, 16%, 18%, or 20%?
How did I do? I think I did pretty well.
Yeah, she said you were cool, basically.
Basically. Was I some percentage not cool?
Mr. Raymond, studies have shown that kids who are prone to hurting animals at an early age eventually fall into a high percentage of adults who may fail to develop even the most basic feeling for people.
Tiny fraction of what the brain is doing, right? Most of it is automated body function.
Okay.
So then what is it we're actually seeding?
No,
You know?
if this notion of self is such a small percentage of usually.
Yes. Secondly, I don't even believe you have a plan. I have part of a plan.
What percentage of a plan do you have?
You, a small percentage of women, have a fourth cone that allows them to see colors invisible to the rest of us.
Sir, we believe, with your help, we have an extremely high percentage shot at killing or capturing the terrorist cell and stopping the attack cold.
Well, your own. You get a percentage, everybody wins.
I'll get caught selling a grain of salt for you.
Fine. Yes, percentage-wise, it's marginally improved.
You're gonna adjust that percentage way down.
And don't thank me, thank the dice. They told me what percentage of my face to shave.
Bat. Bat. Bat.
Bet. Bat.
I'm stupid now, Keisha. Pass me a bat.
A bat? You're gonna use a bat on a ghost.
I'm sorry, I left my proton pack in the car. Pass me the bat. Pass me the bat. Pass me the bat. This ghost got some ugly ass feet. It looks more like an alien. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Nah. I mean, she's
Identical or fraternal? Nocturnal, like a bat.
their bodies. When we fought before, I broke the bat. Today, I break the man.
Son, tell it again, won't you? Okay, so I heard the crack of the bat, I saw the ball out of the corner of my eye, and then boom, pure reflex.
Hell no. You lied to me. I don't go to bat for liars, Lauren.
You come running. Put the bat down.
Julia, come in. I gotta admit, the bat. That was a nice touch. Triple Crown winners. Autographs from Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, Frank Robinson, Carl Yastrzemski. Most people just looking at that wouldn't know that it's worth over $7,000, but I do.
Okay, the bat is not.
And burgers.
In a way, bottom of the ninth. Base is loaded and a sweet crack of the bat. The crowd goes wild.
Awesome. We were ready to go to bat for her.
Identical.
Identical. Identical. Identical.
Identical.
Connection between subjects with identical iris patterns. Identical iris patterns. Identical iris patterns.
Got it?
You buy the identical scarf that Christine gave you and then hide it behind a drawer? How intriguing.
That's the same list of names.
It's identical. It's identical. It's identical.
Yeah, precisely. They're identical.
See, the reason that I found the identical DNA in the two separate kaiju organs.
Whoever she is identical to me. Mum, you're freaking me out.
You were a twin. You were an identical twin.
The keys on it are identical to the ones from...
They seem identical.
Yeah.
This was...
The grace, sistership, solace. What I understand, they're practically identical.
It will, if they have identical stability sequences on either side, and...
Identical in weight, equal in force. United they stand. A union like none other.
Analogy.
Analogy. Analogy.
Analogy.
Analogy.
Zoologist from Harvard.
The analogy I keep coming back to is Spanish flu.
You like it?
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go. Right, because the analogy is free. The analogy is free. The analogy is free. Like the booze is free, the beers are free, everything is free.
Cheers.
And then Watson, quite by accident, she made a most compelling analogy. Compelling analogy. Compelling analogy.
That's kind of a stupid analogy.
They are seductive, but ultimately they're a little bit hollow. The analogy I would always use is, I remember the summer when Chips Ahoy or whoever, they came up with these chocolate chip cookies that were like...
You got shitty boobs.
Hey, the analogy's breaking.
Yeah, maybe a little. You know what I fucking mean.
Advice, but...
Why do you
No. I'm not the dog in this analogy.
You're not?
No.
So Stephen Horowitz was what? Some kind of Robin Hood?
The analogy is not perfect, but in a manner of speaking, yes.
Agatha's what, 36, 37?
If you intend to reduce this to some tired clock analogy...
It's a thing, it happens.
It might be the worst analogy ever. Gordo, help me out here.
Scholar.
Scholar.
Scholar. Scholar.
Scholar.
Not one of your other children was a National Merit Scholar. Not one.
That Whitney has.
She was our first Dagmar Scholar. Dagmar Scholar. Dagmar Scholar.
Dagmar Scholar.
We sponsor disadvantaged children.
I get one National Merit Scholar every 9 years. So there's not a chance that you're not going to live up to your goddamn potential.
I actually come from a very privileged background. And by privilege, I mean prep schools. Yale. I was a Rhodes Scholar. I don't even know what a Rhodes Scholar is.
I do know what a Rhodes Scholar is.
Really? Enlighten me.
Chris Christopherson.
First appeared in folklore around the time of Christ's crucifixion.
That's what the scholar at the roadshow said, that it was...
Seeing as how you're the scholar in the family.
I say, Pip, old chap, what a scholar you are.
She'd like to be someday.
Ich bin Herr Lafitte.
What?
Arab physician, scholar. Practiced in the 13th century.
I'm Christopher Baudet, senior scholar here at the college. Shall we?
Yes.
Helen is the preeminent Virginia Woolf scholar. It was quite a coup to get her from Cambridge, but,
Is that all I'm here for?
What else? You're not a scholar.
I'll tell you what I am, okay? I'll tell you what I think I am.
I am here to find the exploits, and I'm going to need a login to determine if...
What you're doing.
I'm just trying to help.
No, you're exploiting a weakness. You're exploiting a weakness. You're exploiting a weakness. Looking for a way in.
To exploit the deaths of gay men, as you've done on television and in publications all over America.
Less about magicians in general. What I hate is people who exploit other people.
Exploit them how? Try again.
As lawyers, we are often put in adversarial situations. Opposing counsel will seek to exploit any perceived weakness.
Plots have devised a way to exploit it.
Well, you said it yourself. I'm a sly little swordsman for a painter.
and you've got one weakness that I have been forced to exploit.
Wait, you have a parole officer?
A repercussion of exploiting the server vulnerabilities of Fortune 500 companies.
Sounds awesome.
Tyrene, you work your way out there, find out if them cockroaches have any weaknesses we can exploit.
Is a farce. The Republicans are exploiting the situation.
Excuse me, Mr. Vice President. Union. Government officials who abuse the law,
or at the very least exploit the edges of it for their own personal gain.
Negligence.
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 I was convicted of gross negligence because of a product. I mean, you all know that. But what I'm really guilty of is gross negligence as a father.
And it is clear that Dujon's negligence contributed to his own death.
There was no negligence.
That is enough.
Vote.
Thank you.
Negligence. Nepotism. Misappropriation of federal funds.
Have you or someone you love been injured in an accident due to the negligence of another person? Call Danziger and Weiss. 5 years? 6? If they prove negligence, that'll be 2 or 3 more years. That's right.
He is.
We found some papers locked in your closet, something about a criminal negligence case. Is there any reason you kept those hidden instead of turning them over for discovery?
But the magnitude of your negligence requires a greater sacrifice.
I wasn't.
Well, his sister's an attorney. And now Firehouse 51 is under investigation for negligence. Something other than a social call, I gather. We're looking into the apartment fire on Washington.
Whether the building manager was injured due to negligence.
Now, let me stop you right there.
NATO border control. You think Katrina was incompetence? That was highly orchestrated negligence. Look at Waco, Amnesty International.
Interference. Interference.
Interference. Interference. Interference.
All right.
Oh, interference. Are you accusing me of being a cheat? Arnott, my calculations are far from complete. And she's throwing off interference, radiation. Nothing harmful, low levels of gamma radiation. God, she's a freaking child. I had Colby running interference for me, but now I think I maybe want you to take care of her.
Now! Raven, now! The radio's dead! Interference from the storm!
The effort. But let me remind you, brother, any more interference by you will not be tolerated.
Well, from what I've seen of your mauvais don, no interference is needed.
I made it very clear that any more interference on your son's part would be his last.
Who are you talking to?
Denying me the opportunity to pay you back in full for your past interference in my business.
Damn it! Why isn't this working?
Getting some kind of interference.
Shield 616.
A signal from the boat. I thought it was breaking up, like someone cutting the line.
Radio interference?
No, but there's a pattern to it, like a code.
No, it's charming I worry about. I'd like a little non-interference guarantee. Fine.
Selena sends a message. She will face Regina without interference.
What's wrong, darling? No, the plan should have worked. Unless there was some interference, unless the tree sensed.
And too much interference.
Stable.
Stable. Stable.
Stable.
Stable.
Something more boring. Stable. 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 9 to 5, go home, kiss Laurel, that sort of thing.
Stable boy. Stable boy. Stable boy. The one who left you.
Stable boy. Stable boy. Stable boy.
Daniel. His name was Daniel.
To use it again, obviously. I meant, why bring that stable boy back from the dead? Why not?
Gary! I'm just at the part where the milkmaid falls in love with the stable boy.
Okay.
He's stable, due for another 75 milligrams of clozapine.
All right, let's get this done.
It's not stable. Lighter.
We will produce a chemically pure and stable product that performs as advertised.
I win. Sons of your father's bannermen, squires, stable boys.
Of course.
Assessing the injured.
We need to get those people out of the streets. That foundation's not stable.
Yeah, no, I need emergency broadcast.
I am working on it. It'll take time.
Hey, can we see him?
Not right now. The doctor said once he's stable, they're going to move him to a recovery ward where he can have some visitors.
Right. So the good news is both he and Max are in stable condition, but the bad news is whoever did this is still out there.
We've looked at every possible extraction point. None are stable enough to bring in the equipment we need to get down there.
Curious.
Curious.
Curious. Curious.
Curious.
This is good.
So I'm just curious about what happens at the purity ball tonight.
You slept with my mother. You're capable of it. I was mildly curious. Curious.
I don't know, she looked like a young Debbie Harry. I was drunk and curious. I just couldn't.
You did stop looking.
Yeah. After about an hour.
Okay. Well, it's perfectly normal to be curious about these things.
It is curious. Like a mafia social club?
Yeah, the Italian social club out on Union Avenue. I was curious, you know? So
We got your lab results back today, Ethan. I was actually pretty curious myself. And as it turns out, looks like the treatment's having a positive effect on you.
The last thing she delivered was me, and I'm still cleaning up that mess. Aren't you at least curious what she sent? Unless it's a brand new childhood, I'm not interested.
Come. I've heard you're such a clever man. I'm curious why you sought me out.
Yeah, why am I here?
What?
You pushed to have me back? I am curious why, because you don't seem to want me here.
Must be a curious tale.
What?
Well, how a knight of the round table ended up a sword for hire.
We were just told to plug it in. They would take care of the rest, but I've always been the curious type.
So, who's this new Renee? I'm curious.
Core.
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 Greatest country in the world, because we accept a man is at his core. Greedy, selfish.
I stole my life.
Sophie, are you the core personality?
I'm the real person. That's the doctors say.
I know, right? Don't you love it?
It looks like an old apple core. Apple core. Apple core.
What are you?
I am about to do something so repellent that it sickens me to my very core.
Fuck you, and not semi-playfully either.
Fuck you. Total, real, cutting to the core, fuck you.
All core requirements are here. What is your humanities elective?
What did he do to you?
I was in the core group. An initiate.
Do yourselves a favor. Tell him his core looks tight.
You can't steal stuff. You're Shifu.
Honor is the core of your being.
What's his core temp?
Still 93.
Minimum.
Minimum. Minimum.
Minimum.
Minimum.
You do not work with the prosecutors, and they can raise the minimum limit to 30 years. And they can raise the minimum limit to 30 years. And they can raise the minimum limit to 30 years.
You either you're an accomplice, 2 years minimum, 2 years minimum, 2 years minimum.
No. 750,000 minimum.
Changing 100.
Since it's a $5 minimum, I shall bet $5.
They know what they're doing. And we know what we need to do. We keep noise to a minimum.
There's no way I could say I wasn't in on it. I'm looking at 8 years minimum.
With tankers and barges fully outfitted with solar and biodiesel power, stocked with enough food to last a minimum 6 months.
We'll then have 5 to 8 days to do the same, and so on. We need a minimum of 10,000 people at each stop.
The damage, then there's got to be another way to take the strain off of the life support.
Unless we lower it to a minimum.
We need 8 billion minimum for bare bones preparation.
Jackie, you have repeatedly opposed the minimum wage and CEO salary.
Headline. Headline.
Headline. Headline.
Headline.
That headline makes you look less guilty?
How about I just give you the headline? Headline.
Sure, newsboy. Headline away.
The headline today was about some catastrophic flood in Sri Lanka.
Oh, so we lucked out.
Yes, we did.
Just trying to keep you boys inspired.
How's this headline for inspiration?
Really, crew chief kicks nerd bot? That's a great headline for your resume, sister.
I can have you arrested for interfering with an investigation.
FBI muzzles free press. Makes a good headline.
And now back to our headline news. Chicago real estate developer Gerald Costco is
I smell a headline.
Yet the only reason that headline doesn't say moron crushed by train is luck.
Next headline is going to be moron goes undiagnosed because doctors won't talk about his ear pain.
Hi. Here's your headline. How about a photo of all of you?
Sure, yes.
Where is the headline about how we busted our humps and saved 3 guys?
Modest.
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 Nobody who takes on anything big and tough can afford to be modest. Be modest. Be modest.
Say it. It was just one of those yo mama type jokes.
You're far too modest. Too modest. Too modest.
Take it off and we'll burn it together and pray for forgiveness.
Mama, it's modest. It's modest. It's modest.
Call that boy and tell him you're not going.
I was born and raised in a blue-collar chunk of Trenton called the Burg. Here, houses are modest, yards are small.
I will give you a modest stipend.
Thank you most humbly for the hospitality you have extended to our modest delegation.
Did you say anything?
Because he's a humble, modest jerk. I hate him.
I've learned since we spoke that you come from modest origins. Father a contractor, mother a homemaker.
Melanie Vilkus was a modest beauty. So why then did she suddenly decide to turn her much-used camera on herself? Love. Now he's back permanently, seeking a modest escalation of the relationship.
All right. It's a modest layer built on a budget.
Regular culture, let alone subculture.
Well, tell him you're too modest. A number of zombies sang your praises.
Vendors selling their wares, bringing home a modest income.